What the fuck? He had the medallion, to be fair. Dude, it wasn't, the medallion didn't do anything to him. It came when called. Traveling to him through the sky. Mutahar, you can only, this is how they teach how to write English in CWCville. If you didn't know that. This is how English is taught. I went to the Christian School of Oratory. Mutahar is a guy on the internet. Mutahar is a guy on the internet. I don't watch Mutahar content. I don't think I've ever had a nice thing to say about the guy. Unironically. So like, I'm not gonna like, I can't even like rock on him too much. I got introduced to him when he was covering Keffals, and his Keffals coverage was dog shit. And that was the thing that I noticed. Mutahar, for me, is my introduction to all of the weak spots in commentary. I told commentary people this, if you fucking look at me talking to them for like when we were all still like, you know, amenable to each other's existence, amicable. I told them, I was like, Mutahar kind of shows me that basically there's very obviously narrativizing in your guys' communities. It seems like you or someone does work, and then someone that's bigger, the stuff just goes up, and it's pretty clearly the same talking points all the way down, because I can hear things phrased and laid out like in specific ways where I can tell that you're copying each other, because I'm from that world. So if I hear three people talk about the same thing and one of the people copied from the other person, even if they changed it up a little bit, I can hear it. And I don't think it was changed up all that much. So when I saw the Mutahar video, what it was to me, the people were bitching at me at the time, and I was just like, I don't give a fuck. Keffals bad. Keffals can get fucked. But this video on Keffals from Mutahar is too little too late, and it just seems like he's just copying work that other people have done, which was obvious to me. And other people were like, no, or like, that doesn't matter. And after that, there wasn't too much to pay attention to. He had his fallings out with like Chud Logic and stuff. I don't know. And I think Nick Andros, I think it was, made a video on him and Nux Taku. Nux Taku's a pedophile that Mutahar hung out with and watched pedophile shit together with. Like, they watch like lolicon pornography and react to it. Nux Taku puts lolicon pornography in his thumbnails. That guy should be shot out of a cannon into a wall that's 5 feet from the cannon. You know what I mean? Like, but Mutahar is pretty much a callous cloud addict, right? All that kind of stuff. And that's obvious to me, but I guess people wanted to give him his due until later. As I was introduced to him, and I don't give a shit about any of that stuff, you know, the people say he's an engineer. He's good at talking about old internet stuff and engineering problems, blah, 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 blah. And I took it with a grain of I don't give a fuck, because I don't know him, which is pretty much how I react to most information. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're the president of Zimbabwe. Okay. All right. The second that becomes, you know, important to anything that you have to say, I'll look into it. Dude, I got issues in my fucking ear right now. So, like, whatever. When Mutahar, like, fucking departed from commentary and shit, I was like, I don't give a fuck. I would leave too, you know? It's probably bad on both ends. There's, like, he betrayed, I don't know, whoever the fuck, and then he would come in and talk to Chud Logic, and it's just like, I don't... No fuck, I cannot care about this. But I was just never really impressed with Mutahar in general, which is why I never started, like, watching his content. It's one of the reasons I don't have, like, a lot of deep Mutahar takes. I was like, this guy's a slop-bodied fucking Magoober. And he seems to follow trends, right? And now it's coming out that I guess I think it was Nick Andros again, but I don't know. We're gonna be watching the Harmful Opinions video. I'm giving Harmful Opinions a chance, despite he put out an unfathomably fucking weird video the other day. But they're the people that care about this shit. Apparently Mutahar's not an engineer or something, and that's like his excuse, right? So like that's the one thing I know about the guy is he would say, you know, I don't need the YouTube money kind of deal. You know, I'm just here because it's fun. Which when people have to say that a lot, it means it's probably not true. You know what I mean? Like, or they feel some way about it. So, you know, it's like, hey, you you parlayed your free time, I guess, making internet videos into getting to hang out with Boogie and Keemstar, whatever the fuck that's good for. And ultimately, I just, whatever the fuck, you know, but he makes his money off of being some sort of sysad fucking engineer. He owns an engineering company or something, which is, you know, always like, okay. Anybody that owns a company, to me, it's like the likelihood that you're good at what you're supposed to do becomes astronomically less likely to me the more you do other things other than whatever the expertise is that the company provides. You're like, yeah, I started a roofing company. It's gonna be like, why are you selling fucking courses on leadership? Okay, you probably don't know how to fucking send a roofing nail at all. And if you see these guys try to do roofing, it's clearly like, all right, I'm following in the footsteps of a guy I watched from a distance 10 years ago. It's always somebody and said they're a fucking kid. I have no idea what's going on. We're gonna watch this video though. So this is harmful opinions. Harmful opinions. Harmful opinions.
Today's video is brought
Harmful opinions is like just to introduce the guy that's doing the video, because you know I try not to watch too many videos from people I don't know anything about, just so I don't do, you know, be Hassan and platform pedophiles. Or be bad up and out of platform pedophiles and fucking necrophilia fetishists. That would be bonkers, right? Harmful opinions is a you know, kind of sometimes good, sometimes like, what? Why the fuck did you're so stupid? But he's not big enough to be like a actually like danger to society type person. He's definitely not as weird as someone like fucking Vosh. But if I say like, you know, Harmful Opinions did a good or bad job on this video, I don't want you to take that as like, you know, fucking Tyler, I say he does a good job. I don't want you to take that as like a Tyler fucking loves this guy to death. I think he's very fascinating glasses. He's extremely good at guitar. He's actually a very talented musician, Harmful Opinions is. Like, you never think that by looking at him. But he's a Gamergate guy, from what I understand, on the wrong side of Gamergate for my audience, I believe, but really more like in the middle centro part, you know. He's one of the people that got robbed by it. They say Gamergate was over, but it's never over. But his attentiveness to certain internet issues actually does parlay into some pretty good information gathering. Woo. Tyler shares his philosophy with Shania Twain. I'm too far down. I don't even know. I also get an ear infection if I listen to all the losers you do for fun. Fun is a bit much. But either way, I'm going to watch this and see what's going on. Get filled in, get caught up to date. See what's happening.
You by my stupidity, ladies and gentlemen. Today's video is brought to you by my stupidity, ladies and gentlemen. I am not a smart person. I am a very stupid individual.
Yesterday, in preparation to watch a video by Nicandros on stream, I took a quick look into who Mutahar is because I wasn't really familiar with him. As it turns out, he's a really interesting guy. Mutahar really likes to remind people that
YouTube isn't my job.
People scoff at this, but it's true. It's not his job. It's much more than that. It is the core of who he is and the foundation of his self-worth.
I'll be honest with you guys.
I'll tell you right now. This is what I like about Harmful Opinions. And also his weakness. I think that's usually when I like somebody, I also like some weak aspect of them. And it's like, Harmful Opinions is like one of those pointer dogs, right? Kind of like, and he gets very excited. I already spoiled myself on a second one of these. A little bit, where Harmful Opinions is like, it was like a 5-minute video. He's like, I did the research, and it appears that Mutahar is using, I don't know, magic technology, engineering bot programs to remove the word engineer from his comment sections, so no one knows. No one can talk about engineers every time I post it. But if you post, he said engineer with the hard R. But if you post angina, it goes right through. That's, what in the fuck kind of schizo shit is that? Like, Okay, I'm a kind of guy, I like IPAs. They're bitter, they're disgusting. It's 409, right? I don't drink anymore, but I drink the most disgusting fucking beers to everybody else. I just have a certain kind of taste sometimes. And I like a person that will humble my opinion of them by just wholeheartedly engaging in a just schizo-affective rambling, paranoid, delusional, gang stalking type shit. Even if it's true, that's the point. Even if it's true that like Mutahar for somehow, I don't know how you do it. I know how the YouTube comment thing works. I don't know how you would plug in a bot to do that. It's possible. Anything's possible, but like, it just, the way that Even Harmful describes it, it just sounds so schizo, and I like it. I love that. He's deleting the engineer at the mention of the E word. It's like, it's rare that you get to run into kind of people like that, right? Because you could go and like, you go up to the Federal Reserve or something, and he's like, inside that building is some of the most evil people ever made, controlling the stock market by manipulating insurance prices and the interest rates of home buyers. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then he turns and he looks at a trash can. The aluminum trash can industry is made by squirrels in large coats. They're coming to your house to steal your video games, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Delivered with the same level of gravitas and intensity every time. Just whoop, 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 whoop. I don't know what to do with the guy. Oh my God.
I have a reason to live, really, and that's you all.
What happened to Mike from PA? Mike from PA made a joke about buck breaking, which is like a historic term about sexually assaulting, like slave owners sexually assaulting black men to break their spirits and get them adapted to slavery. And he was talking about he was talking about voting like for the Democrats or something. I can't remember, but it was one of those, like, imagine a black person.
Might sound grim. You might be like, what are you trying to say? No, that's the truth. I have a reason to really go on living, you know what I mean? Other than that, what else did I have forward to look to in my life? Future of a menial job and whatnot, just becoming the standard 9-to-5.
Being watched and adored by strangers on the internet is entwined with his mental health to a disturbing degree.
You're important to me,
He's actually the question.
If I ever
kind
lost
of, yeah.
one subscriber, I feel heartbroken. If I do lose, I feel heartbroken because that's one person who used to like what I did, and they're gone.
He's wise not to say so much anymore, as any normal person will find the sentiment quite sickening, but I think deep down, he still views his subscribers as
so sickening is crazy. I don't even have that level of a visceral. I agree that it is cringe. Like, I watch harmful opinion stuff. I can't help it. It's like, why is that? That's so extra. Of course, any normal person would find that sickening. Like, what sickening? You could just say like a typical amount of cringe. You'd say that to him, he's gonna be like, "Would you think something that's cringe isn't sickening? If you had something sickening, wouldn't you cringe?" Like, shut up! Stop! Oh my God!
as literal family to him.
I'm not even kidding. I'd die for you. You all mean a lot to me. You have to realize that. Okay, this is a family to me. I treat you all as if you were my brothers and sisters, right? Like, that's how deep...
I keep forgetting, this always actually does look better if I use the pop-out player for whatever reason.
The connection is, at least for me.
Stuff over here.
All right? I know it sounds somewhat weird to people. It's like, why would you say that? No, it's the truth. Okay, I love you all.
Before you complain that the tidbits we'll be trolling through today are 10 years old, I'd like to remind you that that's still more recent than the pirate software-esque high school Nepo daycare Mutahar apparently still uses to big himself up as being a professional engineer with.
I was basically finishing up my, high school diploma and everything, and at the time, I worked a little computer programming job. I worked as a pen tester, you know what I mean? Like, I got into the whole thing early, I had a couple connections.
Or perhaps his claims of being an engineer come from the job he quit in 2013 to pursue film when he was 18 or 19, which is presumably the awful bank app programming job you may have heard him mention.
So for me, I left that job. I left I left all that kind of stuff. I left a soulless career, and I jumped onto film and TV.
Then again, maybe none of this is where his claims of being an engineer come from, because back then, he called the career path that of a blue-collar computer programmer. Did you know that he didn't actually start calling himself specifically an engineer until over a year after he stopped studying to become one and started pursuing film instead? As far as I can tell from public record, it's only in 2015 that he switched from saying... until over a year after he stopped studying to become one and started pursuing film instead. As far as I can tell from...
Some ordinary gamers. Some of this, 2015, from the comments section on my newest video. What's the best way to do this? Like that? But it's also applicable here. I didn't put this in the video due to my tired state, but here's another rant. There's something very Christian about this writing style. I didn't put this in the video due to my tired state, but here's another rant. You know what I mean? Like, am I crazy for saying that? I'm not trying to play up a specific, that's a very raised by grandma way of writing. I don't know. I really thank each and every one of you for commenting and viewing my videos. It means the world to me that people enjoy the content I make here on this channel, and whether you agree or disagree, with any opinion I express, there is always civility. You are all the best bunch of people I've seen on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck writes like this? Thank you for the time you put in when you can do so many other things. It seriously makes me tear the hell up. What? This is heckin' crazy. I don't think that anyone should do this. You know, like, do you? I don't think any harmful opinions is too fucking, like, neurodivergent to say, like, to pick up. I think that everything he wrote is written perfectly normally. What in the fuck? Oh my god. I'm a video editor in my real life, but I'm always an ordinary gamer out of my office. And for all of you giving me the chance to share some of my experiences with you all and read scary internet stories and have all these lulls in 3 years means the world to me. Hello, fellow children. You all helped me change my life from becoming a dead-end computer engineer, not discounting that career path. I was an engineer. And help me pursue a lifetime passion in media. This is a big thank you to each and every one of you who read this. Mutahar. What? I don't know. Why is this so fucking cringe, dude? What the fuck? He had the medallion, to be fair. Dude, it wasn't, the medallion didn't do anything to him. It came when called. Traveling to him through the sky. Mutahar, you can only, this is how they teach how to write English in CWCville, if you didn't know that. This is how English is taught. I went to the Christian School of Oratory. Oh my fucking god, dude. Okay. Return the medallion or suffer my curse. I can't do it. What the fuck?
Public record. It's only in 2015 that he switched from saying he was a programmer to saying he was an engineer. At first a dead-end computer engineer, but over time, somehow, for some reason, it morphed into a source of pride and, more importantly, credibility, and he clearly became very attached to the title.
I'm an engineer. I'm a fucking engineer. I'm a goddamn engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm a fucking engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm only an engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm just an engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm just a fucking engineer. I'm a goddamn engineer. I'm a fucking engineer.
I feel like I wasn't really paying strict attention, but I think I saw Terry Davis shit back there.
I'm an engineer. As an engineer, being an engineer, I was telling you as an engineer. I'm just an engineer. As an engineer. My engineer, as an engineer. I'm just a fucking dumb engineer. I'm an engineer. As an engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm saying I'm an engineer. As an engineer. As an engineer. I'm an engineer. Speaking of somebody that is an engineer, I'm an engineer.
It would seem that the further he gets from being an engineer, the more of an engineer he becomes. I have to agree with Nicandros that it looks very strange. It looks even stranger though, if you happen to be aware that in 2014 he made a video where he claims to have worked in video editing, film and TV for 4 years.
If you don't know, I work in the video editing industry, and I work in film and television in general, and in there, I get a lot of work, thank God. I'm a kind of guy who hasn't had a vacation in about 4 years now, because even if I try to have a vacation, I always end up bringing work with me, and while I do have a good time, I do end up working constantly. So for 4 years, I have been pretty much working the whole same job. And
that job, 4 years, 2014. So you were doing that since 2010, 2 years before you normally tell us you started to get interested in editing to begin with. I'll put this one down to him having a stroke or something. He's not the most coherent speaker at the best of times. But there is at least one genuine issue with his career in editing and film that I noticed. You may not have known that Mutahar has a very strong connection to Japan. In August of 2015, he let everyone know that he lived there at some point.
For those of you who don't know, I used to actually primarily work and operate in Japan. And man, when I lived over there, Japan's a really interesting place, all right?
He's also visited many times for work. Mutahar has made some videos where he talks about real spooky experiences he's had. One of those being when he heard footsteps in Japan. In that video, he also talks about his work there. He explains,
What the fuck are we talking about? What the fuck are we talking about, Harmful? What the fuck are we talking about? This is so off topic. I know we're trying to paint Mutahar out as cringe, but unironically, he starts off looking cringe, okay? He is just a kind of a cringe guy. If you're remotely normal, seeing him from a distance would make you think he was cringe. When he was in Japan, he heard some footsteps and it scared him. What the Maybe there's something deeper to it. Maybe the ghost story is going to be and the fact that it was a ghost story is going to come up. But I feel like it feels like little kids making fun of each other, you know? He said he went to Japan with his family, but he didn't. Also, he thought he saw a ghost and he was scared. If I saw a ghost, I wouldn't be scared. As a matter of fact, I would be very brave and I would say, go away to the ghost. In fact, I'm a ghost. I think of myself as a ghost. I'm a floating skull and I'm on fire, but my head's partially transparent, so you can see my Mojo Jojo brain inside. this little deep voice autistic kid just fucking stim chatting about his interests. Okay, kid, but you shouldn't talk to him because he's cringe. And he says his dad has a cool job and he doesn't. His dad has a lame job and it's stupid and he's scared of ghosts. But I'm not. Oh my god, dude. This is fucking Autism Whisper Network is crazy. I love you guys. It's fucking I'm actually jammed up. Oh my god. Oh, fuck me. Okay, alright.
He went to make a documentary on Aokigahara Forest.
I go to Japan. I have work in Japan annually that I do. If you guys don't know what I do for a living, it's video editing and whatnot, and I work on production work. Now, in Japan, there is a forest called Aokigahara Forest. Now, I'm on there doing a shoot. It's sort of like a documentary-esque look into Aokigahara Forest.
He tells us that he had to trek.
Was he working for Logan Paul?
Through that forest, and that he came across clothing which he picked up.
So as we're trekking through the forest, I come across clothing. Now, the guy who's coming with us, who basically shows us the forest and navigates us through it, tells me that it's fresh. Incredibly sad sight to bear. And I picked it up and I held it for a little bit and I, soaked it all in.
It might be tempting to assume because he's telling a ghost story that this is completely made up. But it's not a fantastical story, it's his IRL ghost stories. And all that happened was he heard some footsteps and got scared. It is presented as truth. And he actually talks about his visit again 3 years later in 2018.
This better be this better be so fucking relevant, Harmful. This better be so fucking relevant. I come up. That's Mutahar, and he told me that he saw a ghost one time, but but he just heard footsteps, and he just believes in ghosts. But I know that ghosts aren't really real, except for me, because I'm kind of a ghost, but only in my spirit. I know they're not really real, and I wouldn't say that to anyone. He doesn't believe in science, but I do. I don't believe in ghosts.
When he condemns Jake Paul for his Aokigahara video, and he says something interesting.
Me personally, I have a little bit of history to this, and the reason I make
Something interesting.
me
When he condemns Jake Paul for his Aokigahara
Logan Paul was there. Logan Paul was in
video, and he says something interesting.
Me personally, I have a little bit of history to this, and the reason I'm making this video is because I've been to the same forest, Aokigahara Forest in Japan. It is a very ethereal place, a place where a lot of people die.
And what does he say he did there?
Me visiting there at one point in my life, it is a very interesting place. I never had the entire intention to film it, never did.
He never intended to film there, and he never did film there. When you were there, as you told us before, to film a documentary-esque video on the forest.
But I've never seen any dead body, never seen it, but then again, I never really ventured too far into it. I got to see it firsthand.
You never ventured too far in to the forest you said 3 years ago you trekked through with a small crew. To be fair, he is consistent about never seeing a dead body, which he said before he, would have buried.
Thankfully, the good part about the story is we never came across that body. And it's also sad in a way, too, because if I did, I'd definitely give it a fucking burial and whatnot, dude, to honor the dead and shit.
Nevertheless, at least one of these stories
Okay, we pulled it off. You pulled it off. That was cringe that he said that. What the fuck? The overexcited, overstimulated, neurodivergent kid at the cookout that just came up to me to tell me about the other kid does now have my interest, because I did look at the other kid and he is weird. He was lying about finding a body, and he said he would bury it if he found one. No one would do that. That's stupid. You're right, kid. Okay.
be a lie. I would suggest there's a hint about which one in this bizarre phrasing.
I never had the entire intention to film it, never did.
Never had the entire intention to film it? And the fact that telling people about how you messed around with the clothing of people who recently killed themselves wouldn't be a good look in a video condemning Jake Paul for his lack of respect. Engineer or not, he certainly told at least one lie about his film career. Anyway, enough of that for now. Let's get back to the claims of being an engineer. Well, these days he simply peppers his questionable qualification into any coverage he can. A decade ago, he was much naughtier, in a way that seems to have never been addressed. Many people don't care if some guy on YouTube is saying he's an engineer, even if he really can't rightfully use that title. But he's done something a bit more than that, a bit more specific. Let's read through an old Some Ordinary Gamer's Facebook post. Out of the hundreds of videos I have made, I personally felt really proud of this one due to the methods of filming it and the finesse I put into making this one. I put finesse in everything, but this video speaks to me personally. As an engineer. Let's get a taste of this masterpiece.
Power this thing on, and you come across a set of flashing lights over here, and you
Beautiful audio engineering, sophisticated framing. Before my whole YouTube channel, I worked in the tech and cybersecurity industry. Cybersecurity industry? Ah yes, the high school job he got from having connections. You'd certainly guess that means something else from reading this though, without that context, wouldn't you? One of my highlights was being able to test stuff like this. It makes me feel alive, knowing that I can use this YouTube channel not just to share creepypastas, but my love of tech from time to time. This will not be a common trend of videos. Every once in a while, I do stuff like this because it makes me feel really alive. Doing an unboxing like this from a company I follow and hold dear to me as a tech enthusiast, I feel honored to be the few to do this, and you all are to thank for it. I would not be here if it wasn't for you awesome people. I personally teared up editing this video because for the first time, I've been supported by caring and loving people. And to be at a milestone like this in my life shows that I have the best family a guy could ask for.
I don't think that was rehearsed. I think he actually got fucking jacked up on that. All right. He's weird. He's you got me. You got me, little fucking little neurodivergent nightmare child running up. Let me tell you more. He thinks that the people he talks to online are his family, but he has a real family, and those people aren't it. But he says, whenever I get something nice, you guys are like my family. It is the only way I feel good. That's weird. You're correct. You're correct, little guy. Okay. He did the Courage the Cowardly Dog. Naughty. He talks like fucking, and then I got a bit naughty.
I wouldn't change anything for the world, and
thus far, Mutahar is cringe. Is that it? Well, I guess we're establishing that he's dishonest. We're hyper fixating on the cringe. The cringe is real. Okay, fair enough. The cringe is real, but I guess it's just like, well, Mutahar said he was an engineer, but he clearly has never worked as an engineer. And he always says that he is, but then like it's pretty obvious that he runs a YouTube channel, which I kind of thought was semi-apparent. I don't know, it's kind of hard to have a different, like a business, like a day job and do something like this for like 10 years without it becoming like a thing, I would think, right? Like it'd be hard to not mention it, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get more into it, but he said he did the things, but then he did something else.
I will always be your same lovable goof. For those who have been here since the beginning or just a few seconds ago, thank you for changing.
But also, this isn't just like a little bit of cringe. This is like parasocial audience retention. This is the thing you're not supposed to do as a YouTuber. This should be like an ethical violation that people point out. Like if you see people acting the way that Mutahar is in this, you should call it out. You should be like, you're being fucking weird, okay? These people don't know you. They're not your family, fucking loser. You know what I mean? I feel like you can throw a big rock. Because this is like how you start up the cult audience shit, right? And you abuse your audience as you do this stuff. You guys are my family. It's beyond just cringe. Do you know what I mean? Cringe is like, I do have a girlfriend in Canada. I do have a girlfriend in Canada. You know what I mean? But this is like a little bit more intense because you can use this to abuse your audience, right? And it's a pattern. Once this kind of behavior is really established, and I think Harmful is good for pointing this kind of stuff out, especially if it's at the start of a career, because that's kind of like building your core. If you don't do it anymore, sure, but like if you don't have some videos of you saying like that shit was stupid of me to do, and no one should be doing it. You used unethical parasocial practices in order to build a core audience that's based like they think that you're family, right? That's not healthy, and it's not good for the people in your audience. It's not good for the creators. Do you know what I mean? And like that shit should be called out by you, by the viewer, right? That's not like, oh, it's on the fucking creators to always do it. Like viewers should see that shit and go like, dude, cut that cringe shit out. You don't know any of these people. You know what I mean? Just fuck up the creator. Yeah, you think we're not family? I have a family, weirdo. I don't know you. What the fuck? Like, that's mad strange.
This person's life and making it so much more enjoyable than what it used to be. When all this is said and done, I hope you all know that despite the entertainment that I've provided you all, and for those who say I make them happy, you all have no idea just how happy each and every one of you make me. Thank you for supporting me and allowing me to do videos like this. Heart emoji. So what is this video he's talking about? It's an ad. Oh, just because he was sent something doesn't mean it's an ad, and it's even disclosed in the title that they sent it to him. No, it's a full-on ad. The disclosure of that fact is just hidden below the fold. Muta used his claim to be an engineer to pose as an expert while advertising for Intel.
I myself used to be an engineer before I went to the video editing route. Now, as an engineer, I played around with the latest PC parts.
Not only does he claim he was an engineer.
Thank you for the 10 gifted subs, Danielle Mitrain Capitola.
He specifically states that his work as an engineer involved playing around with the latest PC parts. To big up Intel, the company that's sponsoring this video, he claimed to have direct expertise with parts like this. The two jobs I'm aware of him claiming to have had before he started YouTube were the high school penetration testing one and programming bank applications.
I told you guys, I'm a guy who used to code bank applications. Really boring shit.
Which one of those involved playing around with the latest processors and graphics cards? Oh, do you mean you did that in your own time while you were an engineer? But Muta, you like to brag about how little tech you had back then.
I was editing stuff on this laptop and recording stuff here. Now I'm gonna show you guys what this fucking...
Muta, I'm gonna have to ask that you substantiate this claim you made in an advert for Intel, that you were an engineer who, as an engineer, played around with the latest tech. If it's not true, using those credentials to big up a company that's sponsoring you is fucked. In my personal opinion, that would make you a scammer. I have to imagine it's not particularly legal either, but I'm not a lawyer and I'm not going to go into that. It's just obviously...
Oh, I'd have to watch the entire ad, but he did the disclaimer. As long as the product works as intended. Now, if if you use the product and it didn't work, you'd have much more of a thing. But if the product works as intended, you don't really have a cause, so it wouldn't be fraud, right? It maybe you could say it's a little scummy, but There's people that pretend to be doctors in commercials and stuff all the time. I know he's selling it off of his own personal reputation, but like it's kind of, you know, it's a little wishy-washy. And also the most important thing is that if the thing doesn't cause you harm, then it's not fraud, right? Like not in a valuable way. You could try, you know, and you shouldn't do it because of ethicality, like to misrepresent yourself to sell a product. But if the product ultimately performs as intended and every promise made was correct, the only thing that's off is that you weren't what you said you were. But like if that wouldn't have had a massive change in people's ability, like, you know, you built up trust. That's kind of the thing. So like you get something like honey, right? Honey is clearly a scam. And you're someone like Linus Tech Tips, who's a person who does tech tip stuff, right? He's like, it's selling on a platform where he's building trust in his technology knowledge and then says this is a good thing to use. In that case, yeah, like there's much more because honey is a scam and he offloaded a scam on his own reputation. Same thing with like the actors who are like, you know, what I trust Bitcoin stuff, and then they started selling like a bad dump coin. Like that is a scam. You sold a bad product off of your reputation. If you sold a good product off of your non-stellar reputation, I don't think any judge would give a shit because you have to prove damages. That's kind of the point, right? Now, is it unethical? Sure, but it has to be good, and not like subjectively bad. It has to be something that is markedly does not do what you said it does. And also like causes harm, like harm, like, you know, it blows your fucking computer up if you plug it in, or it doesn't work and they refuse to give refunds and they dump it all out. It's got to be something like on that level. That's kind of where it is.
Bad enough on its own, but harmful. He's a nice guy. He does good things. Yeah, he does. He's a hero in real life. Even back then. Let's read a couple of the stories he's told. He once taught a mother how to look after her child. It's okay for kids to ring your doorbell once in a while, but to call you a dried up cunt is pushing it far and above unacceptable. I go to...
God damn. He's playing the Indian scammer angle. No, that's a bit generous. I say that mostly because I've seen other stuff from Harmful. Harmful goes to scammer for like anybody, and it doesn't seem like a racialized thing. If he says Indian, then at that point I'll give it. But like, I think he said something in the ballpark. I don't know if he ever hears me saying, "You might, I didn't specifically say that," but like, dead domain, not mentioning a bunch of aspects of Gamergate relative to Brianna Wu, like not mentioning those because they weren't immediately relevant. What do you mean they weren't immediately relevant? You know what I'm saying? I can't remember off the top of my head, but like his thing was like, she's trying to mislead you completely. This is a scammer. You know, like that it's something that he goes to. So I wouldn't say it's just directly. He's just like, fucking Mutahar is brown, therefore scam. I think it's, I think he legitimately believes he's a scammer. Because he has a low threshold for it.
To this child's mother, repeat the phrase, and she goes of to defend her kid. Rest assured, I taught her how to fucking parent. If you want to procreate, make sure you are kids, have good values, and learn some damn respect. Cause I don't take that shit. Mutahar. Damn, Muta, you kicked that toddler's ass. But he's not just a stone-cold badass. He also has a heart of gold. He's a philanthropist. This may not be gaming-related, but I feel it's something to share. This morning, while coming home from my office, I saw a wealthy individual talking down to someone that was homeless, simply for the reason that he made more money and therefore was a better fit to society.
Oh, that's the most Darman. Did you watch? If you look it up, is that a Darman video? Fucking walk out. You don't make very much money. You are worthless compared to me. You are worthless compared to me. Tarman comes up. Hey, you shouldn't speak with someone like that. What if you are poor? I can't remember. I'm just doing like, in my mind, Matan Evans is playing every character.
I did everything to this man to shut him up, short of getting violent. What, did you let him sniff your poop spittoon? I've been at both ends of the spectrum, but I've never been homeless in my life. I suspect there's another spectrum you're on too, brother. The way some people treat others is absolutely horrible. No one is a better man or woman simply because they have more. So
okay, I don't know what poop spittoon is. Maybe it is a little racist. What the fuck was that?
Many factors go into that. Money does not define you as a person. I ended up giving this man what he considers a small fortune, $130 in my wallet. The individual was very grateful for it and proceeded to hug me. Saint Mutahar, beloved of the homeless. Now, I didn't give him money simply for being homeless. I gave him money because it was the human thing to do. Nah, Invader Zim, you're not tricking me. Life isn't about living for yourself or spreading some great message or winning a few battles here and there. It's simply about being a good person. It's kind of funny when I say I learned this morals from ordinary video games. But it's true. What, the rising price of AAA, is that why you gave him $130?
Okay, that is like actually startlingly cringe, but I feel like we're a little off topic here. What the
Okay,
fuck?
look, Harmful, please. It's pretty cringe, but he doesn't deserve this. Think of his health. Think of his heart condition. You know that stress gives him cancer, as he explained in 2014. For those out there, I've had a bad couple of days as of now, and why I've been unable to stream. I have several medical conditions, and although my stress has always been high and this is my coping method for that, I believe family heart issues have surfaced, and I've been cursed with them. I also believe that cancer could be involved as a potential factor in the situation, alongside work problems IRL. Were you telling people you might have cancer because a doctor said that? Or was it whispered to you by one of your sleep paralysis demons? Because it's not a joke, is it, Mutahar? It's not something you should just play around with frivolously.
Your parents probably will also tell you straight up, lying about having cancer is like evil bad, okay? Like, god damn, if you believe in a god and the devil, you know that this shit is alone enough to send you down to fucking hell and burn there. That's how bad this situation is.
To be fair, unlike Boogie, he didn't say he did have cancer.
Oh my god, what in the fuck is this video? What the fuck is this video? I don't even know how to react. Okay, you got me. Mutahar is cringe. I kind of already thought that. So it's not like there's not been a lot of coinage added to my bucket of Mutahar's cringe. Mutahar was cringe because I just looked at him and was like, this guy's cringe. You know what I mean? Long-time YouTuber. All right, nerd. You know, like, off rip. Pulling up these, like, 2015 fucking tweets. This guy's just like... Darman fucking Reddit posting is crazy. I'm not defending Mutahar. I'm just saying this is fucking... The Mutahar is cringe. The Mutahar grudge is fucking right there, almost just as cringe. Like, it's fucking borderline, dude. You're fucking killing me right now. I just can't even. I can't fucking even. What the fuck is happening? Look, I know this is a cookout, but that kid over there, Mutahar, he said that when he gets too nervous, he could get cancer. He could get cancer just from getting nervous, which happens to him all the time, because every time he hears footsteps in the dark, he thinks it's a ghost. So every time a ghost happens by him, even though ghosts aren't real, they can give him cancer just by walking close to him. What? What the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about, Harmful? This is the fucking whack. Do you see what I mean? Like, I'm not saying Harmful Opinions content is like, oh, dude, this shit is nutrition. This is factual nutrition to like make your brain better. But it's like, it's the sequitur version of a non sequitur. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, that was in line. I can see that you're following a logic path here, but like, it is just hopscotch in place. You're a mad person. Did you know that you can play hopscotch without going forward? All you do is jump up and down on your left and right leg. Then you can do hopscotch, but you don't need more room. Okay, kid, I'll show you. Watch. I'll do hopscotch in place. Do you know how I learned that? No, man. DDR. That means Dance Dance Revolution. It's a game I have on my PlayStation. I like to play it at night in my room. My favorite song on it is Dude, I can't remember the songs. Go Go Love Girl by Japanese band Michi Flua. Have you ever heard of that song? Probably not. You don't seem like you play DDR. I don't. Okay, thank you for listening to me. And then the kid just like takes a fucking chip off your plate and eats it and runs away. What? Whose fucking child was that? Like, no, he just comes to the park. Like, what? As he's running away, he just pushes the Mutahar child down. He scutters off into some fucking alleyway. What was that? Did you know he's cringe? He's very cringe. I get it, kid. I get it. I love how you're dedicated to this. I'm very dedicated to this. This is the coolest thing ever.
He just floated that possibility out there to the world for sympathy. And it can be scary. A couple years back, I had to have a scan done, which cleared up there wasn't a problem, but I was spooked, and I talked about it. I talked about what my doctor said in the test I was getting. I didn't say, I believe cancer could be involved and why I feel bad. That would be fucking weird. Mutahar, did you have a good reason to say you thought cancer was involved? Or did you just throw it out there for giggles? Careful bringing up the big C word. Sunground Studios might try to make friends with you. You know, you actually remind me of him. Not because you're brown, because of...
Oh, God. Oh, man. You know you were coming off a little racist earlier. Why would Mutahar remind you of this guy? This guy is like... doesn't appear to be an Indian person or a Pakistani person. Like, what? You know. I think that you might be like this guy. No, I'm not saying that because you're both brown. You're bringing it up makes it sound like you are. What the fuck is wrong with you, Harmful? Why are you like this? Oh my God. I'm your little butterfly. Aye, and you're my samurai. No, he looks Nepali. I don't know any of those areas. I don't. It just wasn't worth mentioning to me. What did you say? Oh yeah, the thing is, like, Harmful's doing the thing where like commentary people talk to each other. These references are such deep. I have no idea what's happening with this. You're just like this guy. Who the fuck?
So was involved? Or did you just throw it out there for giggles? Careful bringing up the big C word. Sunground Studios might try to make friends with you. You know, you actually remind me of him. Not because you're brown, because of the suits. No racism here, no Islamophobia. Not even going to mention the now deleted meeting with Al-Qaeda video.
Okay, you're a little racist, Harmful. This sauced up autistic kid might be a little racist, bro. What the fuck? You're a lot like this other brown person I know. Not because you're brown, but because you both wear suits. White people wear suits too. What else happened with Sunground Studios? Who is that guy? What the fuck is Harmful talking about? And you deleted that video where you met Al-Qaeda. What the fuck? And fucking Mutahar hung out with Al-Qaeda. Lead with that! We talked about the fucking Japanese suicide forest for 15 minutes. 15 minutes of, and then he came back from the forest, but he said that he wasn't filming. That was 10 years later. Earlier, though, he said he was filming, and then he touched a sock, but I don't think he touched a sock at all, because in this tweet he says, I'm afraid of socks. I don't like socks on my feet. Also, he met Al-Qaeda. What the fuck, kid? So fucking sauced up autistic kid running up to you at the fucking thing. I need you to know, he's done... You fast forward, click, and then he met Al-Qaeda. Dude, this is dead ass. Every time, yeah, because I got a gigantic family. I'm not gonna name names, but there's some kids that'll start yapping your fucking ear off about some shit, right? You didn't even start talking to them. You're like, you crack open a Diet Coke, and then you're taking like a bite of a burger, and you feel like you sense something, and there's a child like watching you from like 2 feet away. Like, what the fuck? I I saw that you're wearing a purple shirt. That reminds me of a guy I know. He's over there. His name's Mutahar, and he likes the purple huggies. The purple huggies are the grossest. I like the cell wrapper ones. They're green. Did you know he's afraid of ghosts? He heard footsteps one time, and it almost gave him cancer. He's met Al-Qaeda before. He runs away. What the fuck was that? What the fuck? Whose kid was that? Everybody else at the table's like... I bet when Harmful leaves an area, he's got a real stiff walk sometimes, but other times, if no one's looking and he gets around a corner, he jogs a bit and does a jump like whoop, boop, and clicks his little heels together. I'm having a good day. Click. Scuttles off. I love this fucking racist idiot. Also, I only think I know he met Al-Qaeda, but I think he looks like another guy who's brown, but he's not the same kind of brown. But they look like each other because they both wear suits. What the fuck are you talking about? What did you, what? Oh my God, bro.
Theo, with you. You know, you actually remind me of him. Not because you're brown, because of the suits. No racism here, no Islamophobia, not even
the
gonna mention...
suits thing is funny because he showed 2 pictures of suits, but I've never seen Mutahar in anything but the sloppiest t-shirts. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen Mutahar wearing anything but sloppy fucking t-shirts. He's not known for suits. He's known for being a slop ball. Like, he's just a little fucking wad of earwax just fucking lumped out there. Camera looking down at him. You know what I mean? He's everything about his physical presentation online looks like someone left a heat lamp on too close to him and he's melting away. Oh, fuck. It's the suits that you wore twice 10 years ago. I can't get over it. Maybe I'm pausing too much, but I'm geeked out too hard. I thought I was going to hear some banger revelations, right? But it's just...
The now deleted meeting with Al-Qaeda video. I don't know what's in that. Probably just an engineering conference. Yeah, this stuff's old. But how old's the stuff he was using just last month to claim engineering credentials? And it's not like he has a degree, is it? His cybersecurity background is a high school nepo job. Remind you of anyone else? He wants to live in the past? I'm merely obliging. And not only that, this is the foundation of his channel. This is the basis of his internet presence. When you see the diehard...
Isaac, I said super chat at $4.99. Is it too much to ask for the commentary people to not be freaks? I guess. Like, every fucking commentary people would be like, I wonder if this person's a LOLCOW. I wonder if this person, they seem like they have the gene. They seem like they might have the gene. They might have the gene. And then you look at them and these motherfuckers walking around mooing all the time. Just oh my God. Oh, fuck. LSU, the LOLCOW Solidarity Union. That's what most of all the commentary people that aren't fucking pedophiles or like grifto-fascist racists, the rest of them are just the LOLCOW Solidarity Union, man. I fucking can't. Oh my God. It's fucking, it's God tier shit. I'm so fucking happy, bro. Oh.
Of anyone else? He wants to live in the past? I'm merely obliging. And not only that, this is the foundation of his channel. This is the basis of his internet presence. When you see the diehard fans who love him no matter what, been there from the start, the first million, it's because they've been told he'd die for them, that he loves them, that they're his family. Literally.
This is
disgusting.
True.
And this is just what can be found from a brief scan of his career yesterday morning, so I'd have some idea who Mutahar is.
Okay, thank you very much, Harmful. Thanks, kid. Can I have some of your ketchup? Okay, and then he goes and just touches the ketchup.
The eternal
on top
decline of
the burger.
Xbox continues. This company...
Hey. Shut the fuck up, Act Man. I didn't ask you to say a goddamn thing. Okay, let me see this Nick Andros shit. Because I gotta know. Harmful, what the fuck was that video? I know the people that hear it, they love it. The people that hear it fucking love that shit, right? It's about it. I know, it's your audience. Why don't you do with what you want to do with your audience, and I'll do what I want to do with mine. we're all going to get together later and we're going to look at each other's feet and it's not going to be weird at all. What the fuck? Why? It sounds weird. No, it's not. We're all just making sure we actually have the same shoe size. We guessed that we did and then we did. What? Okay, kid, I don't want to know anymore. What the fuck did you say that for? Like, it is a ferret. The ferret he does too much. He's too deeply referential. Ferret means pirate software. That's the one I actually caught. Okay. Pirate software is a furry and it's a ferret. His thing is a ferret furry. God damn. That was, oh, what in the fuck?
Welcome, I'm Nicandros. If you've been following some ordinary gamer...
We're not doing the podcast videos? Dude, what if...
And wholesome. Right.
Welcome, I'm Nicandros. OBS, Open Broadcaster software, is pretty simple, but...
That voice isn't real. That's not real. I guess I've seen his videos before. I knew it. Yeah, he was the Nuxtaku outer with the Mutahar Nunt with a few different clips together. Chud Logic versus Mutahar drama explained. This guy fucking hates Mutahar, dude. God damn it, bro. He really fucking hates Mutahar. Okay, I don't think I've heard his voice before. I thought that wasn't actually even him, but still, that sounds... We got some pirate software happening here right now.
Or Mutahar's behavior the past year or so, you might have noticed that something is up. He quits Twitter suddenly, causing people to panic, and then rejoins Twitter quietly months later. He says he won't buy a Nintendo Switch 2, and then instantly buys one when it comes out. There was even that time he disavowed his longtime friend, Nuxtaku, but then he took the video down and apologized. Apparently he overreacted to a video criticizing him for watching lowly hentai with Nuxtaku, and not for anything else.
Wait, you showed
Yeah.
one of those videos?
That's a video I'm still working on, and this video you're about to watch right now is a little appetizer I've cut out of its body of research, because it was getting too bloated, as it is. Anyway, despite saying he would quit drama, not only did Mutahar return to drama, he decided to join forces with Ethan Klein to go...
At 1.5, his voice sounds at a standard register. Are you slowing down your voice? Or just standard deepening it? Sounds fake as fuck. I should have known Mutahar was cap about his cybersecurity background. He wasn't outed as a furry at $4.99. Hey, there's still time. All right. There's still time. It's true, though. Here's the thing. I'll pause this real quick. I know the video's not up. My bad. I don't know why I'm doing that. How about this? Keep it off. When people know about or work, they can't help but talk about it. It's really the case. That's why it's usually like you get there immediately. Because if somebody has an expertise in something outside of what they talk about it. I'm not unique in that. You know how like I know about a bunch of random shit and then I accidentally start talking about it? It's because there's other things that I do that I'm good at and I know about. And I spend a lot of time doing them. And because I'm not around other people that do them or you aren't, like I'm interested in it and I like to talk about it. Almost anybody else I've seen online that has a secondary job or an interest or whatever, they can't not talk about it. Do you know what I mean? Like they'll bring it up. Oh, so we're talking about birds? I mean, there is a bird watcher here or something. You know what I mean? Like they get into it and I've never really heard, I mean, people have talked about like bad products and stuff, but I've never really heard Mutahar talk about tech shit or approach things from like a tech angle, you know, even though a lot of his stuff, this is all internet shit, so it should be there. And that's like my thing. And it's not like it's a smoking gun or a guarantee. I mean, some people could just manage to never talk about it. But like, the tech world and internet content creation are so deeply fucking intertwined that like, if you did work for an internet company or you did work for a tech company, I don't know what company, I mean, even if you owned one, I don't know how you wouldn't be advertising it all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I advertise my book, I write books, I forget to do it sometimes, but like, I write books. Go buy West by God. Go buy Eyes Beneath My Father's House, available on Amazon. You could probably see them pop up here at some point. And it's a part of your life. It's hard to get away from. And Mutahar doesn't really talk about stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, for something that's so integrated, like tech and the constantly evolving landscape of YouTube, you know, I know maybe he's like, you know, as an engineer, this confuses me, whatever the fuck, that kind of stupid shit. But like, that would be like Legal Eagle saying like, well, you know, this law got passed and I'm pretty sure that it's going to, you know, as a lawyer, I think that there might be some like legality concerns here, but you know, I'm not sure. Like, we'll wait and see. Like, I would expect your content to be very deeply ingrained with that. And for your, I mean, what is he, like 10 years plus knowledge base now at this point? Like, to be really like out about it. You know what I mean? Like, could you, like, Anthony Gramiglia clearly is fucking into comic books and like DC, Marvel, American style superhero stuff. So he has good references. You know what I mean? Like, if you hear him talk about something like fucking All-Star Spider-Man, we talk about this again today. And like, he'll start dropping the fucking references, not like as like you have to say those, but it's like, okay, you clarified what's going on. You know, you say that this author wouldn't work here, but we see that the sales reference for this was blah, 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 blah. And like, you kind of get into it. But I just don't see that from Mutahar in a valuable way. You know what I mean? He's really surface level if I've ever seen him. And I haven't watched tons of his stuff. But like, I look up tech shit all the time because I don't know about it. And I don't get Mutahar recommended to me for that. And I like horror stuff. And no horror person has ever recommended me Mutahar. Not a fucking one of them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not respected in that world either. So, like, if you're in that too, people will share your commentary. I think Mutahar is a commentary personality guy like fucking Boogie, and that's kind of it. Because, like, where is the expertise? Like, is it being shown off for people that don't know what the fuck you're talking about? Because then it's not real. If you put my videos on literature and stuff in front of, like, lit professors and shit, not going to say like they're going to agree with me, but they're going to go like, he knows what the fuck he's talking about. He's just wrong here, here, and here, but he knows how to have the conversation. You get what I'm saying? Or like, you know, this, that, and the other things that I've talked about. People have even made those comments, but like, and if it's really it, people will share that shit and they'll be like, oh my God, yeah, I've been thinking about this, blah, blah, blah. But I haven't really even seen him being like put on by the tech people I follow, you know, where they're like, fuck, this take by Mutahar is like top tier. Like, this is like the engineering take that we needed. So like he talks, I've heard him mention it a number of times, you know, but then I've never seen like extent value from it, like at all. In times where it would probably be like, okay, this is very important. Do you know what I mean?
After Hassan Piker. It's an odd choice because Ethan doesn't exactly have the highest opinion of Mutahar.
Do you have the part where Mutahar runs outside with a gun?
I don't, but
I'm like, dude, these people are insane.
Scared Icon Super Chat, $2. I like the Anthony G impression.
Look, he's not even the craziest one in that room still. There's a point where Mutahar goes, oh shit, is someone stealing my car? And he runs outside with a gun. And then he comes in 30 seconds later, oh no, it's chill, just my brother.
Oh my
like,
God.
This pseudo badass weird fucking shtick he's doing is not it. And frankly,
Oh my God. Did this happen? Nick Andros has already the more superior video. He walked into a corner of his room that wasn't visible on camera and cocked an airsoft pistol. Oh my God, dude. Is he just streamer Darman? Is that why Mutahar has a career? He's streaming Darman. No wonder Keemstar wanted to keep him close. Keep your LOLCOWs close and your undiscovered LOLCOWs closer. Like, fucking Keemstar's farming him like a fucking mushroom. What in the fuck, dude? Oh, someone's stealing my car. I'll be back real quick. What? That's I'm sorry I got fucking log jammed on that. That is the funniest fucking thing I've heard in a long time. That's actually quite enjoyable. I hope the clip plays.
And he comes in 30 seconds later, oh no, it's chill, just my brother.
Oh my God.
This pseudo badass weird fucking shtick he's doing is not it. And frankly, he's so mean-spirited and nasty, and he has this weird thing where he needs to act like cool and that he's so successful and rich. He tells Boogie, dude, why don't you upload more? I upload every day and YouTube's not even my job. I was like, shut the fuck up, bro. I think he thinks his real job is being a day trader. I might be wrong about that, but I mean, that's pretty funny. But like, yes, it is. Shut up, bro. I'm uploading every day. Ugh, I really got turned off by Mutahar in that one, man. Really did.
So Mutahar is a poser and he lies about having a job outside of YouTube. Those are pretty heavy accusations. But who has the time to watch through over a decade of videos and streams to check if he's telling a consistent story? I certainly don't, but I know a much faster way of achieving the same end result with...
I do. I've watched all of his old videos, and I found out that he lied about going to Japan. Nick Andros, pick up the phone. I need to talk to you immediately. Did you know that one time Mutahar said that he's haunted and he almost got cancer because he had ghost voice? What a tremendous, that would be such a camera cut. I don't have enough time to go back and watch all of these Mutahar videos to see if he has a consistent story. I do. I have nothing better to do. Who has the free time to do this? Me. I have the free time. I have so much free time. He went back. This is just my first week of searching. I know where Harmful Opinions got the idea for the video now. 2 minutes 14 he went, I could bring that up in the right side monitor and I could look at it while listening to this video.
Only a few hours of effort. I can just search all these video transcripts at once for certain keywords and timeline the claims he's made.
I play video games and scratch my balls most days when I'm not working. I wake up, I scratch my balls, I do my job, and then I fucking play some video games. I wake up, scratch my balls, play some Mass Effect, make a video, and like do some of my stock work, and that's it. I wake up, I scratch my balls, and I play some Mass Effect, okay? I wake up every day, I do my job, I scratch my balls, I play around with Linux, some video games, and that's my life, dude.
Before we get into it, isn't this stalking? Isn't this a violation of privacy? No. I am going by information Mutahar has made public through pieces of media he's voluntarily published on his YouTube channel, or public media appearances he has consented to. I'm also using information from a video that shows his LinkedIn page, which is something he seems to be cool with. He can do whatever he wants in his private life, but if he's claiming to be a doctor or an engineer to make his perspectives more valuable to an audience, validating the truthfulness of these claims about his life become a matter of public interest. If a history channel was receiving undisclosed funding from a foreign state, publishing that information would be in the public interest, even if that knowledge was gained through violations of privacy. Violating someone's privacy to humiliate them by exposing their porn browsing habits would not be in the public interest. But I haven't gone there, and I don't need to. I also completely disavow and denounce any kind of harassment or actual stalking behavior. Based on my findings, Mutahar has consistently claimed that YouTube isn't his job.
Hey, YouTube isn't my job. Thank God my job isn't YouTube. YouTube is not my job. YouTube is not my job. YouTube is not my job. YouTube is not.
Yeah, I mean, like every fucking video I think I've seen Mutahar put out, I've heard some variation of this, actually. I know I've heard him say this specifically. And like I said, I watched next to no Mutahar stuff. I mean, like, if I don't watch it off stream, like, that I could think of, maybe I watched the Keffels one off stream. But like, not interesting, but I know I've heard this before. You know what I'm saying? Or even if he's in, like, I think he says it when he's talking to other people, like on their shows, like, no, fucking, this isn't my job. YouTube's not my job.
Not my job. YouTube is not my job. I use YouTube as a hobby. This is not a job for me, okay?
He works a regular 9 to 5.
Like, I work a regular job every day.
Why is everyone coordinating a Mutahar attack today? This is actually old. This is from like days ago. Nick Andros is getting ready to put out, Nick Andros' entire existence, I guess, online is about fuck Mutahar. Like, he uploaded, I just looked at his YouTube. He's got, if I look at his latest videos, right, it's 1, 2, 3. He's got 13 total videos. And then like 7 years ago, it was just the fucking Battlefield 5 reveal trailer for Vietnam, but Fortunate Son plays in the background. And then like 2 memes 3 memes, 4 memes, 5 like meme videos that are under maybe half a minute. One of them is like 2 minutes long. An OBS function thing, and then just fucking 6 Mutahar videos. And then 1 Bunga Taiga video. Which I guess he hates Nux Taku and Mutahar. And like, if you want to talk about, this guy strikes me as someone who does have a day job. And his hobby is, man, fuck all these guys. Because he's got 2 Mutahar Nunt, right? Mutahar Nunt and Mutahar Nunt clip show version. Mutahar rants about Hassan on stream. Chud Logic versus Mutahar drama. The Bungo Taiga's #1 doxer and the plagiarist who stole my work. No one watched most of these. I've seen the Mutahar Nunt for a while ago. And then Mutahar has been a fake engineer for 10 years, 4 days ago. And this video is up to 262K views because I think it revealed the engineer issue. And then people are making videos about that, like, to jump onto it. So, like, Harmful Opinions released a, you should hate Mutahar. Yes, of course he's a fake engineer, but have you ever heard the fact that he's afraid of ghosts? And ghosts aren't real. He looks like an Asian guy. How crazy is that? But I'm not racist. It's because they both wear suits. Like fucking dude, Harmful tried to jump onto the fucking Mutahar hate train and straight lost his leg on the fucking track. Someone help me. I think I've lost everything beneath my knee. Okay, bro.
Go to my office, I work, I come home, I cut together the video that I recorded the night, or 2 nights or whatever before, and I post that on the internet. It is a therapeutic, fun thing for me.
So what is that job? If you ask Mutahar's fans, they think he's a cybersecurity expert, an IT professional, a video editor. Ethan said, day trader. There seems to be an awful lot of uncertainty about this definitely real job that Mutahar has. Mutahar's also insisted throughout his career that he is an engineer.
I'm an engineer. I'm a fucking engineer. I'm a goddamn engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm a fucking engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm only an engineer. Oh, I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm just an engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm just a fucking engineer. I'm a goddamn engineer. I'm a fucking engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer. As an engineer, being an engineer, I'm still an engineer. I'm just a fucking engineer. My engineer. As an engineer, I'm just a fucking engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer. As an engineer, as somebody that is an engineer. I'm saying I'm an engineer. As an engineer. As an engineer. As an engineer. As an engineer. Being somebody that is an engineer. I'm an engineer.
But there's multiple types of engineers, so what kind of engineer is he?
I'm a fucking computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer. Dude, I'm a fucking computer engineer.
I'm a YouTuber. Why are you asking me?
I'm just like a computer engineer by default.
Like, I'm a fucking computer engineer.
I'm a fucking computer engineer. You want to talk about cyber warfare? I'm a computer engineer by trade. I'm a computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer. No, I'm a computer engineer, okay? I'm a fucking computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer.
In the United States, people throw around the word engineer like candy, but in Canada, it's a bit more protected, especially in Ontario where Mutahar lives. Now, I do want to give the disclaimer that I'm not a lawyer or a Canadian. I'm just a guy who looks stuff up online, and based on what I've read, it's actually illegal to call yourself an engineer if you are not a licensed engineer. The Ontario Engineering Regulatory Body, Professional Engineers Ontario,
Okay, so I'm just looking this up real quick because my brother is actually an engineer, a professional engineer. And yeah, so you can call yourself an engineer of some sort because it's kind of like a title, but you can't sell services. It's fraud if you sell services as an engineer. You can't call yourself a professional engineer without taking a licensing exam. So I just looked that one up real quick. That's the case.
Claims to take offense to even titles like software engineer being used instead of software developer, but they do make an exception for terms like train engineer, broadcast engineer, or sound engineer, which are not professional engineers in the same way that a computer engineer or a civil engineer would be. Calling yourself a computer engineer to a public audience is like saying that you're a civil engineer or a mechanical engineer. You might as well call yourself a doctor or a therapist.
That's a bit much. I wouldn't say that's quite the same as calling yourself a civil engineer. That is actually, you will get in trouble for that. I know you'll get in trouble for that one. Because that's like that's a full title. My buddy was a civil engineer. He like built federal buildings and stuff and like roads, and that's, you can't you can't do that. Software engineer, I don't think is that respected in America. Because I think most people know that most people have met somebody who's like, I'm a software engineer, and then they've never made a fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you call yourself a doctor, doctors, those titles are taken way more seriously. But like, software engineer, no one knows what the fuck that is, and it doesn't seem like you do anything anyway, because everybody's a fucking software engineer. I think it is kind of the case. It's a nitpick, but I just wanted to say that.
Mutahar to be a licensed computer engineer, for him to be able to legally call himself a computer engineer, or an engineer in general, he would need a 4-year degree, 4 years of training, and to pass the National Professional Practice Exam. If he had just a degree, then he could only call himself a computer engineer graduate. This is where things become a little bit difficult, because Mutahar is apparently not just a computer engineer.
I'm a video engineer now. I think I know how this shit fucking works. Speaking out of an engineer, like if I wasn't a computer science engineer, I wouldn't speak about Elon being an idiot. But as an engineer, yeah, I'm gonna call him a fucking idiot, because he does do idiotic statements. This is why as a cybersecurity engineer,
A computer engineer is very much a real thing, but a video engineer...
By the way, that's the actual appeal to authority. That's a bad argument. It's just like, as a blank, I think this is the case, that you can always ignore. Because an actual professional will, like, take you to fucking hell yammering. I actually saw a great fucking debate the other day between Destiny and someone who actually knows stuff about music. Like a woman, I can't remember her name, but she's like a, you know, like a Juilliard grade fucking music nerd. Okay, music historic nerd, whatever the fuck, it doesn't fucking matter. But it's not like, when people who are charlatans make arguments, they'll say like, as a blank, I think. Vosh is this. Vosh is absolutely a charlatan with his fucking weak-ass sociology degree. Because they say, you know, as a sociologist or a person who has a sociology degree, I've never seen anything like this, blah, 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 blah. But like, that's not how you make the argument. Right? Like, if I was like, that's not how you spell bus it. Here's a good one. This is it's a low stakes, but this is kind of what it would sound like. If someone's like, hey, this isn't how you spell this kind of word, blah, blah, blah. As a journalist, I don't think that's how that word's spelled. You can kind of ignore that. If you said it to me and it's like busing, right? Which is a funny one that people always do. Busing is spelled B-U-S-I-N-G when you're talking about the vehicle that goes places. B-U-S-S-I-N-G means kissing, which is a thing that you learn at the very beginning of studying the AP style guide, right? And I know that. It's like, if I said that, like, that's not how you spell that word. B-U-S-S-I-N-G means kissing. You can check the AP style guide or look it up in a dictionary, but that's not the case. That's how you say that, right? And professionals do that. If you've ever been to college, you know what I mean? All your professors, especially when you get to a certain level, they have a discipline. They're not like teachers. Teachers are like in high school and stuff. They're for teaching stuff. So they're disciplinary, or their discipline and their specialty is dealing with fucking kids and making sure that they can all pass tests kind of deal, right? College professors are specialists. So when they start talking about their specializations, they go into fucking tangents that last, you know, minutes, hours even. And they're deep into it. Like, if you've ever actually heard someone who's a specialist speak on something, they go all the way down. You don't even, if you're not a specialist with the same sort of discipline, you won't even be able to ask them the questions that you need to ask. Like, that's one of the things where people try to say, like, oh, well, why can't you explain this to me? I don't think you can have it explained to you. You don't have the knowledge base necessary for this to make sense to you. You're a fucking idiot on the internet. You're not even like in your mid to late 20s yet, like some fucking child. Why would you know enough about any of this to understand? It doesn't make sense to me that you said this. Like, why would it? You're stupid. You're not an equal, right? And when you start talking to people who are specialists, they are better than you at what they do. They're fucking specialists. And this is just a thing you have to keep in mind. Whenever you hear someone make that statement like he does, where it's like, you know, as an engineer, da-da-da-da-da, if it's not like an opinion, like a vibes-based opinion, and they're just saying like, you know, with what I do, this is kind of like, you know, it seems odd to me, but they never give you any like specifics. Do you know what I mean? Then it's not good. Like, if they don't start bringing up, you know, like, if I like open up this chart, right? You know, I was talking about my bathroom, like, you know, this stuff. I started drawing it out for you, you know, like all the pipes and spread and all that shit. Like, any specialist can go that way, right? It doesn't mean that you'll understand it, but people that like make their money on saying, you know, as somebody with a background in this, I mean, it's really evident in the fucking Destiny versus the other person. Destiny dropped out of college, so he has like a fucking, you know, introductory level knowledge of music theory stuff, right? Which is enough to confound an argument between someone who's like making a vibes-based approach to musician as a professional musician as opposed to a professional musical theoretician, right? But when he talks to someone who's a specialist in that field and really completed the course of study and is up to date on the modern, like, the modern talking points and all of the like the established things, like, no, we already figured this out. 5 years ago, somebody who did research on this for 20 years put all those connections together. We don't say this anymore. We say this. Well, that doesn't make sense because, like, how about this? I can't teach you what you're already supposed to know. Like, that's what those conversations sound like. But charlatanry isn't pointed out on the internet because most of the people that are in a position to point it out, because they have at least like a journeyman's understanding of how conversations are supposed to have, would rather be lazy and rely on their charlatanry that they can fucking access than call it out and take it off the field entirely, which is why we have all of these fucking half-ass kookadoodles walking around talking out of their ass, and it's just like, oh yeah, well, I don't know, maybe if I put a note on the ninth, maybe if I put a minor, we would turn this minor to suspended. You know, what if it would turn this to a major suspended seventh, and that would even be a major suspended seventh. That would actually be a diminished major nine. Like, shut the fuck up. Do you know what I mean? Like, you barely have an actual understanding of the topic. You have a lot of jargon to spit out and shit out, but you're not there. And like, Mutahar doesn't even go into that part. I don't think I've ever heard him talk tech. He just says like, you know, as an engineer, what the fuck?
Or a broadcast engineer isn't a real professional engineer. While computer science graduates often work in software development, sometimes called software engineering, computer science isn't an engineering discipline. So computer science engineer doesn't really make sense. Cybersecurity engineer is once again using the word engineer as just a job title. Mutahar clearly wants the prestige of being perceived as an engineer, given that he's been calling himself an engineer for the past 10 years. And he uses this title to make himself more authoritative.
But I'm an engineer. I know how this stuff is going, so I'm not even speaking out of pocket right here, okay? If you want to disagree with me, feel free, but you're actually wrong. As somebody who is a computer, engineer, somebody who understands computer code, for instance.
Yeah, Nick Andrews is on it about this.
About computers and anything code related is actually mind-bogglingly stupid.
It's not clear what kind of an engineer he is. So what education does he have?
Like, it's a really good explanation of why, like, I think engineering is like the road to go down when I was studying. I'm like,
so he would have an engineering degree.
I went to university for computer sciences, and that's it.
Education background, asking because a lot of CS knowledge. Yeah, I did computer engineering when I fucking went to college. That's what I did.
Okay, so at least a computer science degree.
I thought when I got into university for a while, and I dropped out like a semester in because I was like, okay, no.
Oh, he dropped out after a semester.
Like, I'm a dropout myself. I've never finished university, but I'm not going to dog on like school. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to learn to be if you're going to be an engineer, if you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, if you're going to be in the STEM field, you need to go to university.
The guy just probably say something like this, but just so you know, in America, in my school, which is actually one of the top engineering schools in the country, so I didn't go to the engineering program, I went to the journalism program, but a bunch of friends and a bunch of people I knew went to the engineering program because UC's engineering program is a top tier engineering program, okay? Like, you wouldn't think about it, but like, Cincinnati has a strong history of engineering. Like, it's not the Brent Spence Bridge. This is when you can drive over. But basically, the Brooklyn Bridge was first built in Cincinnati. And you're like, that's impossible. The test bridge for the Brooklyn Bridge is in Cincinnati, right next to our stadium. The guy that built the Brooklyn Bridge built a shitty one here in Cincy before they built the fucking monster out there in New York. So like, the test bridge is there. The guy that built, I think, the Golden Gate Bridge went to UC. University of Cincinnati. I could be slightly off on that, but one of the big ass fucking public works projects, one of the big ass civil engineering projects out west, I think it was that one, was a Cincinnati graduate. And the engineering school is huge. It's a 5-year degree program, right? You'll do 4 years of education, but it goes 1 to 3 years. So 2 years of practicum, basically like the stuff that everybody has to do with getting your prerequisites in. And then the engineering phase is kind of spread out into those before, but then your third year is major engineering. Your fourth year is practicum, where you have to go out and actually get a job, right? And like, you work underneath engineers and shit. And that's not practicum, but work study. You get a work study job and you go work with people out in the field. You go work for this company, that company, and you kind of do some of your stuff. And then the fourth year, or I might have gotten that back year. Those 2 years are engineering. They're going to send a fourth year out there. Those 2 years are engineering, and then you have to do a 5th year of work study. You can mix the work study year in backward and break it up a bit. but eventually you have to spend a bunch of time out there and you have to get people to sign off for your work study. You get paid full wages too. So like my buddy that I went to college with, he went and worked for Ohio Department of Transportation and was drawing bridges, right? Like drawing up bridges. Not every bridge is going to be the Golden Gate, you know what I mean? Or some sort of river spanning super construct, but a bridge that goes over, that you're not even thinking that much about, an overpass bridge over, 8-9 lanes of highway here, there, a 30-foot spanner on some like country back road. Those are extremely important and difficult engineering projects because bridges are not to be fucked with. And you got to go out and draw that shit. That's how intensive an engineering degree is. And that engineering school has civil and chemical and, a bunch of other ones too. And it's this whole big program. And they don't fuck around with it at all. Like it's hard as fuck to get into. You can't really drop out of the engineering program until you're in your like third year. Do you get what I'm saying? So like if you go to school for half a semester, you didn't get, your major might have been engineering, but you actually haven't gotten to through practicum yet. If you haven't been to college, most colleges, especially city, state colleges, right? You have to do what feels like high school year 5, right? Where you do advanced collegiate level mathematics, composition, and you get a knowledge base that the college requires its graduates to have. So history, this, that, and the other, so that you're a well-rounded graduate from that school. While you're doing that, you can start taking a few introductionary classes because people change their majors first off in the first place. And also people have to come to the realization, a friend of mine went for neuroscience. He was not a neuroscientist. He was not qualified for that. And that not even being able to do, because in the practicum, if you're trying to go to like engineering, they're like, all right, first off, you're not even getting into the pre-engineering pre-program if you can't just skip straight to Algebra 5 because we don't have enough slots for when you have to go to Calculus 2, 3, 4, and 5 for all of these things, and then you have to do your trigonometry and geometry and all these other like math classes throughout the second season. They're just like, if you can't get straight to that and jump in, you're good. So if you're like, I'm going to be in a program and you drop out in half a semester, you never went to the program. You didn't touch it. You didn't get anywhere fucking near it. And I guarantee you most Cincinnati or America's higher education program is based on the same things from like, the UK and shit and just basically brought overseas. It's all fundamentally the same. You have to take those introductionary classes first before you actually start because there's limited slots as you go up the pyramid before you become a professional, which is why it's hard to become an actual like PhD because there's only like, 2 slots in the college per year for somebody to be a doctoral candidate. But there's, 100 slots for somebody to be a master's candidate and maybe, 4,000 or 5,000. That's a lot, but maybe 600. That's probably more sensible for people to be an undergrad bachelor candidate. You know what I mean? For graduation, for whatever the fuck from the program, because you only have so many people to teach. And you've got to cut people away before they get to those important classes. And you have to take them to know what the fuck you're talking about. If you've ever seen anything with programming, it's very complicated. It's learning literally another language. So like if you're going to be an engineer and an actual like sysad fucking like engineer, you're going to have to go to all of the things. Even if you were like, I was sitting at my house and blah, 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 blah. They're going to make you take like professional courses as well, in addition to like programming the computer that are things like, hey, this is like your ethics and study class. This is your like, your fundamentals of stuff before. They'll teach you things that you can't have access to. Like they'll let you go, if you go to engineering, they'll give you access to labs and equipment and stuff you can't have access to, or you will never have access to back in, back in the civilian, non-educated lay world, right? Like there's programming languages, and I might be slightly talking about my ass, but programmers know it, that you're not allowed to program in because they're for like weapon systems and stuff. Like you can get in trouble if you own the materials and the computers that are used to program in those languages, because they don't necessarily use like Python to shoot missiles or like run planes and stuff. So even trying to get like you would not be able to access that unless you are the most special being. But that's what like engineering and stuff is. And it's the same thing for all this other stuff. Like, yeah, you can go build a popsicle stick bridge, but if you want access to the fucking like practical operations program for civil engineering, where they're gonna let you design and AutoCAD this together, and then they're going to put that fucking metal in place so that you can see where you are good and bad about stuff. Like, you can't even get to that. That's what college is, especially when you go talk about a STEM field. You could drop out and do what I did because it's your American right, if you're an American, to practice journalism however the fuck you see fit. Shout out all these idiots that go out there on TikTok and just say stuff. But like, if you want to get a degree as an engineer, you can't drop out the first half a fucking semester. That's insanity, right?
Okay.
You need to go to university to be an engineer, but Mutahar is a dropout. He has no degree.
Were you a computer science major? Yeah, that's what I went to for college for a little bit, dropped out of it, you know. I feel like there's a weird misconception. People think I'm like some fucking crazy degree holder. It's like, no.
Yeah, Joseph Strauss is
I
from
would have been
Cincinnati.
way more in fucking university if I went down that.
Ohio has a lot of engineering: railroads, Wright brothers, cars, industries, and the Hewlett unloaders that look like giant dinosaurs to empty out the 1,000-footers on the lake many moons ago. Fucking cool.
Fucking round.
I sure wonder why people might have that impression.
Is it bad if you don't get a STEM degree? Look, I'm gonna sound biased as fuck, but STEM degrees all the way. I'm gonna sound biased because, as an engineer, like, you want to get the degree that's gonna get you a job, a good job. Not saying other degrees can't, but like, you gotta be smart.
Sometimes he says he didn't always want to be an engineer.
My biggest thing was I didn't really want to be an engineer anyways. Growing up, I didn't really want to do anything. I actually wanted to do law. I didn't go through law. Honestly, I didn't even want to be an engineer when I grew up. Like, I wanted to be a lawyer for the longest times.
Other times he says he's a former engineer.
So, like, being a former engineer, like, I virtualize like everything, so I like contain shit. And
Even an ex-engineer.
the coolest ways possible. I'm like a fucking ex-engineer.
But here's the thing. He's been saying he used to be an engineer, or that he worked as an engineer for 10 years.
I wanted to share sort of my engineering background with you. Okay, I worked as a fucking engineer, all right, before I went into this shit. I know this. I also like to mess around with technology. I myself used to be an engineer before I went to the video editing route.
Mutahar started his channel in 2012, the same year he turned 18. By video editing route, he means that he switched careers after his channel began taking off.
And the interesting thing about this whole YouTube stuff is it actually made me change my entire career choice. I never really thought of myself as an individual who, I expressed talents in film production and everything, and, I never really threw myself into it. I did stuff on the side even before YouTube as well. But this really changed me, and it made me more passionate in the whole, video production side too. So now that is my field of choice. Now I work as a video editor. For those of you who don't know what I do outside of YouTube, I do that. I work as a video editor for my own post stuff.
All the programming, cybersecurity, penetration testing work he talks about early on are jobs he supposedly did before he did YouTube, and he didn't like doing it.
Before this, I was a depressed individual, and I was going to go through a certain set path in my career and just go through that and move on, right? And there was a point where I really didn't think there was much else. I was going to go through the motions and everything. And then, to cut down on the stress, and I still have stress issues nowadays, but, back then I had a crazy amount of depression and stress issues. And so to counteract that, I decided, why not do YouTube? And so, one night I went onto the Google Create account and did it, and, and then we started making videos. I told you guys, I'm a guy who used to code bank applications. Really boring shit. Now I'm a dude who cuts stuff together. All right? Who edits stuff, who does stuff for film, TV, all that stuff. And I can't stress to you all how important that is to me. And you all have inspired me to go out and chase that dream. You all inspired me to fucking sit in front of my computer and make a video when I have some off time, and I fucking love doing it.
Baby Mutahar liked to edit videos.
This guy's a loser and a fraud. Get to the part where he's also a fucking freak and a pedophile enabler at best. I think the guy that made this said that is coming down the line. I think this is specifically focused on the engineering things, probably because Pirate Software is up and around here.
He just sucks at
Still doing multiple 9-to-5s where you're running different businesses. You were talking about.
Yeah, I'm the
Q4 being
CEO of our
extremely
own
busy.
company. Like, I'm the CEO of like our own group. We do a lot of like property and like asset investment around where we live. We're getting into construction and everything too. So it's like for us, like our job
Oh, he's a fucking landlord?
is my job.
9-to-5s where
Hold on.
daily uploads while being a CEO 9 to 5 is a pretty busy schedule, as Ethan said. When he was on the Unsubscribe podcast, Mutahar made sure to let everyone know he works 9 to 5 and that he's a very serious businessman.
Legitimately still have a 9 to 5.
Yeah, I have a 9 to 5.
dude, he works in hours and hours. That's what, like, this is why I respect it. How many subs do you have on YouTube?
I think like 3.4 or 5 million or something. I don't know the exact
3.5,
amount.
like 3.5 million. We'll say that. And you're still doing multiple 9-to-5s where you're running different businesses. You were talking about.
Yeah, I'm the
Q4 being
CEO of our
extremely
own
busy.
company. Like, I'm the CEO of like our own group. We do a lot of like property and like asset investment around where we live. We're getting into construction and everything too. So it's like for us, like my job is a 9 to 5 every day.
You upload how many videos a week?
A day. Like I upload it every day.
Jesus, this is why
Jesus
exactly,
Christ.
and why I always.
He really loves bathing in that praise, but it's not enough. He needs to flex more.
He's a landlord. He said he does property and housing investment. They're getting ready to build some stuff. I'm not surprised by that at all. I fucking bet you $5 if he made just a little fat fucking dollop off of YouTube. He just bought some property. He probably talked to an accountant, and an accountant directed him towards some investment properties and like made him an investor in some sort of company. I guarantee you that's what it is. He's not a 9 to 5er at all. He probably wakes up make sure that his capital is fucking giving returns, maybe returns some fucking emails and calls from his people, and then sits around and plays video games. He's okay. Mutahar is a landlord. There you go. All right, we're good. There we go.
Well, that's like the algorithm tell, right? Like when you're like an engineer, somebody's like, man, why does the algorithm keep feeding me? I'm like, bro, what's the last 10 things you watched? Gay porn? It's probably going to give you the 11 videos. I'm just saying.
Driving there, we were talking about cybersecurity because that's what you went to school for. You're like, homeboy's very smart. You do actually business, and then YouTube is a
YouTube is always like the secondary side gig.
Then he brags about his charitable donations, and we see behind the curtain how uninformed Mutahar actually is.
Like for me, it's like the receipts.
Crazy.
If I could tabulate them up every year, you know, like like during COVID, I probably gave away $200,000 of charity, and it was like out of my personal accounts. I don't write any of this off for taxes because I don't believe in writing off charity for taxes. I think it's a pretty shitty thing to do.
Writing off charitable.
You have to write off charity for taxes. By the way, I don't know if he's about to say it. You have to write that off. You can use charities as a tax write-off. Tax write-offs are a category of expenditure, right? But when you do your taxes, you have to say where the money went that you have, because that's how they calculate how much tax money you owe. And if you just vanished $200,000, the government is going to be fascinated where the fuck $200,000 went, because that is their $200,000. Never forget this. I know this drives people crazy, but it's a fact. Your American money belongs to the government. I know you think you have it, but it's the government's money. They printed it, and that's why your holdings are in terms of US dollars, because you have their dollars. You have their fractions of the government that represent the fucking fiat script, or however the fuck you're supposed to articulate it, but it's their shit, so they need to know where it went. If it's over $10,000 or over, you have to report where the fucking expenditure went, because at the end of the year, they're going to be like, all right, where's that? So you earned this much. Yes. And you have this. Well, okay, you're going to have to pay taxes on all that, because either you have that money still, or if you say it's gone, right, then your $200,000 is gone. And the government's going to go like, well, why don't you have the $200,000 anymore? Like, well, that's my personal business. Like, okay, well, what if you gave the $200,000 to the fucking, like, some terror group, or if you used it to, I don't know, buy drugs or something? Where the fuck did you spend $200,000? That is a fascinating question. Did you make an investment that you're not talking about right here? Because if you did a capital gain, if you did this, so if you give $200,000 to a charity, you have to declare it, right? Because the charity has to say that they got it from you. So when the charity's like, hey, we got $200,000 from this guy, they're going to tell the government where the money came from. Understand that too. You're not a single party, right? There's another person. So like when I pay contractors, I have all my contractors fill out these forms to basically say like, hey, dumbass, go tell the fucking government you got paid, because I'm telling the government where the money I have went. Okay. And I'm telling them you got this exact amount. So make sure that you report that you got that from me when you do your taxes, because they're going to fucking know from my end that I gave it to you. The charity's going to go, yeah, we got fucking $150,000 from him. And then they'll go like, okay, well, this charity said that you gave him $150,000. Wait, what's going on over here? What? There's $50,000 missing. Oh yeah, well, blah blah blah, and this and that and stuff, and you know, this is my end of the year holdings, and then you get audited, and that's how an audit happens. If the IRS is curious about like, why is money going into and out of your accounts so much, they're gonna audit you. Okay, there's like trades and stuff. There's things that you can do, but trust me, the transfers in and out of the bank, unless you have that $100,000 under your fucking mattress as well, $200K under your mat, the bank has to report that. The bank is going to go like, hey, we're going to tell them that you did something with that. You know, like, you're doing what now? $200,000. Okay, just so you know, we're going to tell them that was an interesting thing that you did. When I started making money off of YouTube and stuff, my bank started sending me like a series of very like, hey, please, hey, please, hey, please. We just noticed that you don't have money coming in from an ACH, basically from like a business, right? Because businesses, when they pay you, it's a payroll tax thing. You're in a special money class. Did you know that you have money coming in from these sources and stuff? Hey, guess what? We're telling the government that you gave it to us because we don't want to get in trouble. So you better tell the government how you got it. You know? Like, this shit is monitored because it's the government's money. It always has been. It always will be. You just allow yourself to be paid in the government script, okay? That's why people get upsetty spaghetti about it, and libertarians lose their mind. It's the government's money, and the government wants to know where the fuck it is. They want to have a full accounting of it at all times. And they're going to figure it out. I mean, right now we're in a fucking downswing because of Trump, but if things go differently, you're fucking missing numbers and your empty boxes in your fucking books, the government's going to be like, oh, I need to know everything about that. So don't... this guy at the table with him, he seemed like a bunch of fucking, conservative, somebody said yapitalists. Oh man, I keep having to clear my fucking ear out. Even there, those like, yo, you got to report that. $200K. You made a $200K expenditure for a charity? Just fuck, dude, report that.
Donations is a shitty thing to do. How? Why? All that means is that the money you donated is tax exempt. It means you can donate more money to charity, as Brandon Herrera says.
It's a pretty shitty thing to do. Well, for me, it's like
the more money you can write off, the more money you can keep from the government and spend it better, putting it toward more charity.
The money that
How can you be the CEO of a company, a serious businessman who knows his shit, but you don't understand basic accounting?
You want to talk about social battery? Like 7 is when I get up. I got to be in meetings every fucking day. My work day doesn't end until like 4 p.m. That's when I get like a chance to open up the Premiere Pro project file for the video, and I get to work on that, and then I get to upload that a day later. Like, I don't believe
4 p.m.
days off. Like, I literally can't believe in a day off. Like, I'm always like jittery because I'm like, I want to do work. Like, I really do like enjoy doing work. Like, any day that I don't feel like I do my job, fucking cry about it. I'm like, this fucking sucks.
He works till 4 p.m. every day and cannot take a day off. However, he seemed pretty happy to take a day off to watch a video game commercial from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on a Thursday.
I love to read comment sections in videos. That is probably the best part of doing YouTube content creation, is reading the comment sections of what a video has to offer. As a content creator, the coolest thing is like when you see like 1,000 comments on a video, because I'm somebody that likes lurking internet forums and just reading internet discourse, right? Especially when it comes to topics I enjoy. So when you read 1,000 comments, you're like, all right, shit, let me line up and get ready, boys. Let me read that shit all day.
This guy has a wife, he's a CEO, he works 9 to 5, and he uploads daily. How do you have the time to read YouTube comments from random people? Check this out.
You should be an upstanding, good citizen, okay? I wake up, I do my job, I come home.
Many of the instances where Mutahar says YouTube isn't his job are
okay, yeah. Oh, there we go. Hey, pedophile.
drama. After videos of the authority and the credibility that comes with that label. You don't call yourself an engineer dozens of times without specifying you're talking about programming jobs you did 10 years ago. He's clearly mostly just a self-taught tech enthusiast, not an engineer. He's seen as a cybersecurity expert or as a cybersecurity engineer, as he called himself.
This is why, as a cybersecurity engineer...
But when he assisted Nuxtaku in tracking down the V-Shoujo swatter, he fell for a basic social engineering trick where the swatter, who was a minor, pretended to be one of Nux's fans who knew the swatter in real life and fed them a bunch of bogus information.
I appreciate the random fan who was in that Discord server that actually contacted me and reached out to me about this stuff. Oh my god, you guys are legends, honestly.
V-Shoujo's cybersecurity expert knew this was bullshit. The cybersecurity...
Anybody surprised that it was a fucking minor? God damn it. This is, you know what this reminds me of? This specific thing is Elon Musk. I think I'm probably going to be done with this. That reminds me of Elon Musk back when Elon Musk was getting ready to start fall apart in everybody's eyes. And he had those people were trapped in that cave, and Elon Musk was like, hey, I've designed a thing to help you get out of the cave, a little mini submarine or something. And all the experts were like, that's the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. And he got so upset, he called like the main guy a pedophile. And then that guy sued him. It's like the same thing. We even got pedophiles mentioned. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, when push comes to shove and you have to get tested, the fact that you got socially engineered by a literal child, over a swatting incident is crazy. I'm not even going to watch the rest of it. Of course, it was a complete fuck up, dude. But like, goddamn. I guess I'm not surprised. There wasn't a lot with Mutahar where I was like, this guy's definitely got his shit together. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, maybe he is, maybe he's not. I don't really care. I don't rely on him for any of that kind of information. So who gives a fuck? And if I ever hear somebody's like, as a thing, I think this, blah, 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 I'm going to be like, well, I want to know what you know about it so I can fucking check. Like, give me some fucking facts. You know what I mean? Like, I talk about law shit all the time, but I'm not a lawyer. That's why I tell you the fucking laws and all the shit. You can go look it up yourself. It's not like, as a guy who was a journalist for 5 fucking seconds and fucking covered some court cases, you should take me at my fucking word every time. I try to direct you to like what you need to look at. And if a lawyer who was actually a practicing lawyer came in and fucking tried to shit talk me, I'd be like, okay, I get it as a lawyer. You think I sound like an idiot, but point out what the fuck you're talking about. I don't give a shit. It's written down. So like, where's the facts that I can double check? So like, I can talk to another lawyer and say like, you said this, not just, hey, as a lawyer, you know, thing. And I would say the same thing for a software engineer. Like, yo, hey, as a software engineer, you know, I think this and this. Well, tell me what the parts that are there, which is what Pirate Software's big undoing was. Is he like, you know, I broke it all down. I opened the what the fuck? What are those gibberish words? You know, I logged into the polymorphic. I would pull out the code cage. Fuck that shit, man. I watch people trying to break it down. I have no idea what they're fucking saying. But once the facts are out, like the gritties, the nitty gritties are out, then you can actually compare people's knowledge base and their ability because you have something static to go on. It's just like, I think that's the biggest thing to catch from this, is that from now on, if you hear somebody saying like, as a blank, I think X, unless it's something that can only be the subjective impression that is valuable because of somebody's expertise, and it requires no facts to add behind it, just file it under you don't give a fuck and ignore it. Pretty much. You'd be like, okay, I have that in my head now that you said that, but you know, I can't do anything with it. You should bend all the fucking electrical plugs that you have in your house into a big L shape and try to plug them in backwards as a software engineer. You're like, well, that's a crazy thing to say. Talk to another software engineer. They're like, what the fuck? Why would a software engineer say that? First off, an electrical person, but like they said to do that? I don't know. And then you talk to a fucking electrical guy and he's like, that's fucking stupid. What a dumbass. I think that's where you need to go with the internet. I think it's time to mature into a position where people just go like, fuck it, prove it. Proof. Let me get some facts. Hope you enjoyed your time on the Westside.